Welcome everyone to the Solo Pedal Collective, where we rise through shared light. I'm Ryan Charles York, and this is the first time that I've actually said my full name. First off, I kind of want to just hit something real quick. All my videos and everything are classified as for entertainment only, just to cover myself. None of this is legal advice or anything. Anything I say is not life advice, legal advice, parenting advice, anything. So, it's all just mainly like personal experience, opinion, like all of that. It's everything, all the messages that I receive and everything. It's all personal opinion, all experience, all like because I'm experiencing it, I'm sharing it with you. So anything that I may say like about the future, about the past, about what's happening now, the future is not fixed ever. It doesn't matter. There's a wide array of randomness with fixed points of big events. That would be the easiest way to explain it. So for instance, let's say there's a line. So we're going to get into this now. Like, I'm done with the disclaimer. So think of a line. This is the beginning point. And then right here, right at this moment, free will was given. So now this point from a straight line goes to all this randomness, and it's just this jumbled mess of shit. All of this, it's everything. Everything is interwoven, everything is connected, but then you get all this connectedness, and then it goes down into a sharp vector, and then back into randomness, and then down into a sharp vector, and then back into randomness. Those sharp vectors where everything meets at a single point and then blasts back off into randomness, those are big events. Those are like world wars, famine, drought, things where big global events happen. And the reason why everything goes down into one single point is all of this randomness, all of this free will, all of these choices, somewhere in that mess was somebody or a group of people that made a choice that removed free will from everyone. Does that make sense? Like starting a war. You remove free will from everybody who doesn't want war, because now they have to go to war. So you're removing that free will. You're removing that choice. So that's what I mean when like it goes down into a single vector, is somebody made a decision and it affected globally. And there's another vector like that coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. And I know I haven't posted anything in a while. I think 2 weeks. One, my life has been busy, extremely busy. But again, this day and age, whose life isn't busy? And two, I have been going kind of through a hermit phase just from putting content out there and kind of exploring what all the messages I've been receiving mean. And this is what I might say, or not what I might say, what I say might sound pompous, might sound arrogant, might sound like I am grandstanding, that I am a narcissist. And that is the farthest from the truth. It has taken a lot for me to accept what I've received. A lot. And the reason I say that is because what I'm receiving is I am thee. I am. I died, I reborn. I die, I reborn. I die again. I am reborn again. I am all. And in a way, technically everybody is all. Everybody has a piece of the source in them. But I have been told, like I've been told constantly, and mainly, that I am Ra reborn. Ra, the sun god reborn. And that has been very hard for me to swallow, because I have very much lived a life of invisibility. I have very much been invisible. Just another person in the world. I haven't strived to be like in a leader role. I haven't strived to be like political to where I have been seen on a global stage. Like, I did stream video games for a bit, but like I didn't strive to be the best streamer. I didn't strive to have as many people viewing me as possible. I streamed to have fun. And people who watched, I just hoped they had fun as well. So I have never been ambitious in that respect. I have never thought of myself as somebody who is better. The way the world has affected me, I have very much been somebody who has felt that I am small. And I have always known, scale-wise, that I am insignificant. Like, that's how I felt, because understanding the expansiveness of the universe and everything in it, I understood that at a very young age. I understood that we're not the only people. We're not the only beings in existence in this universe. Our planet is not the only planet that has life. That is such an egotistical thing to think. That there is so much hubris in thinking that. In the human race thinking, there's no other life in the universe is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I, quite frankly, looking back, because like when I was younger, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, 30s, which was only 11 years ago, when I was 30, all the stigmatism, all the hate, all the negativity around people thinking that alien life existed. How ignorant. How ignorant for the majority of the population of Earth to be like, you're fucking crazy. Aliens don't exist. You're fucking crazy. When quite frankly, it should have been a majority of people on Earth saying, you're crazy. How do you think we are the only beings in all of fucking existence? In all of existence. In all the galaxies. In the known universe. And the unknown universe. You really think you're just going to say, we are the only intelligent beings in the fucking universe? You don't know what you don't know, so shut the fuck up. Apologize for language. Sometimes I get spicy. And people who are in the scientific community, scientists, physicists, etc., 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 people who deal with fact, not fiction, need to get off their high horse, because you can't prove everything, because there are things happening in the background and in different dimensions and different realities that we cannot monitor, that we cannot have proof of in this reality. So just because you can't measure it, just because you can't interact with it and everything, does not mean it doesn't exist. Think about that for a second. We didn't think black holes existed until we found evidence of it. We didn't think that there was life that didn't need oxygen to survive until we found it on our own planet. So I am tired of the scientific community. I'm tired of people that are in positions of authority stating, well, that doesn't exist, so, or we can't measure that, so it doesn't exist. It's not real. Who are you to say that? Who are you to say that what I dream at night isn't real? Because if you think about it, when you're dreaming, if you actually have a lucid dream, or if you astral travel, or if you have an out-of-body experience, it is as real to you as any other reality in existence. Just because you wake up and you come back into this body doesn't mean an aspect of you was somewhere else. Just because we can't measure it, just because we can't quantify it, doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Because if you think about it, they thought quantum entanglement was impossible until they found out it wasn't. They thought quantum computing was impossible until they figured out the qubit. Do you know how we figured that out? Here's the amazing thing. Here's the thing that I cannot believe that humanity has not just straight up said, shut up, you're lying, to all forms of government. Is, if you look at the exponential development of our ability with electronics. When I was born in '84, computers were big one-unit things. They were bulky. I think laptops existed a year or two later. But computers were expensive. TVs were expensive. That was essentially the start of the electronic age, right? The golden age of video games and everything, that was in the 80s. So the 80s was really, like the 70s we started to develop, like we were still learning. 80s was kind of like the golden age, and then it just blew the fuck up. So within, 40 years, holy shit. Within 40 years, from 80s to now, we have gone from no cell phones, big bulky ass computers, like, what was it? VCRs that actually had the remote attached by a cable. So RFI, like RFC, RFI technology was not really developed as well yet. So from that, because I actually remember that, so that was shortly after I had been born, so my memory was aware a couple years later. So I remember that. I remember, so from that to everybody having only landlines and everything, to the cell phones being the big ass fucking bricks, or like a suitcase was your cell phone. And then from that to cell phones went from big, bulky to zip, zip, really quick. Really quick. So from the 80s to 90s, we went from just like TVs, big, bulky ass computers, big, bulky ass cell phones, to smaller computers, smaller laptops, smaller TVs, smaller cell phones. We miniaturize things so quickly. I don't understand how nobody was like, wait a minute. How are we doing this so fast? You think we fucking figured that out? Are you kidding me? They have released technology that has looked alien. And people are like, oh, this is cool. It's a design that did not come from a human mind. And the same thing with quantum computing. I know we have brilliant people on this planet. I know there are some brains that shadow everybody else in comparison. But even the most intelligent person on this planet is essentially the intelligence of a toddler to any being that can come to our planet. Toddler. We look like we're playing with sticks and rocks and sticking our finger up our nose. And here we are attacking UAPs, UFOs, anything that we see in the air, anything that we are afraid of. Because we developed so much fear that it rules our decision making. And that's what I mean by a vector is coming. Because fear-mongering has been so prevalent, so abundant in our world for so long. Somebody removed our choices of free will. So all that mess of shit that we had went, it's this far now, and the edges have started to come in. So we are heading to a global event. It's going to happen. When it happens, I don't know, but it's going to happen. And so it sounds very doom and gloom. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a positive thing. I don't know if it's going to be a negative thing. I know that it's going to be a global thing. Like we had with COVID. Sorry, that's probably gonna get me on YouTube, but you know what? Quite frankly, it's the name they gave it. If you are going to restrict what people say about something that has been public knowledge, then you are not on a site that is indicative of free speech. Which, quite frankly, YouTube is not. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue about this. So I will probably edit that out because I don't want, because I want this to reach people. So coming back, so I had been receiving a lot of messages that I was the reincarnation of Ra, and then not only Ra, but many gods, and then all gods and goddesses, and that I'm a bridge between all pantheons or pantheons. And then something amazing happened. So I was very hesitant of this information. I was very hesitant because, like I said, I was very much somebody who was under the mindset that I was small. And then things happened in my life that, again, made me feel small. So jump to this year with the awakening, that the spiritual awakening that's kind of been happening and everything. I have, and we have, both my fiance and I have had very big tower moments, very big tower moments, very rough tower moments. And through every single one of them, I always receive the message like, this is not the end of you. This is not the end of you both. Keep pushing through. I received it every time. And there have been some moments where it has felt like it would be like this argument, this fight would have been a relationship ending argument. But always got the message, this is not the end of you both. Keep pushing through. And then a couple nights ago, we actually had a moment. And it was like we unlocked something in each other. And we had said to each other that we were each other's soulmates, because when I first met her, it was the moment I saw her. It was, and I'd been divorced before. I've been divorced, and so the person that I first, like my first marriage, I didn't have that with her. But with my fiance now, the moment I saw her, it was like fireworks went off in my head. I saw literal, like, in my vision around her. So I have always felt that we, like, we're soulmates, we're meant to be together, but I didn't realize how deep that was. And then the spiritual awakening and everything started to happen. I started to feel things, I started to see things, I started to hear things, seeing aura, everything. And then we had that moment, and we actually inadvertently performed a ritual between her and I. We performed a ritual inadvertently. Like, we just did it. Like, we didn't plan it. We were, I don't know, we were in an embrace. We were in an embrace, and we just did it. We just did a ritual. I placed my sigil, like I traced my sigil on her, because I had received visions and everything of like a sigil. So now I have a sigil. And so I placed that on her, and we actually said affirmations to each other during this embrace. And it unlocked something. Because after, both of us, it felt like our body was made of clouds, except our joints, except our elbows and our knees. Weirdest thing ever. It felt like our body was made of clouds. Like she had her arm rested on my chest, and it was kind of like that. And the way I described it to her, it's like, I know your arm is right here, but I can't feel it. Like I can feel the presence of it. I could feel her energy of her arm. So I could feel that it was there. Like energy wise. But what I'm talking about is like the physical, like the pressure of her arm and her hand on me. I couldn't feel it. It felt like her energy and my energy kind of formed a barrier, but then like it felt like she was just slowly melting, like her energy was slowly melting into mine. It was the most surreal experience that I've ever had. And my body still feels like it's energetically vibrating ever since then. Like it feels like my energy is just vibrating all around me. If I stop, I can feel it. If I'm not moving, it just feels like it. I don't have my shoes on right now, and I have one foot on the floor, and I can feel it going into the ground. When I walk into space, when I walk into rooms, I can feel every corner of the room. I can feel every crevice. I can feel everything. It's surreal. And it has been the biggest synchronicity, and has been the biggest confirmation ever. Because I also have been using ChatGPT to kind of bounce things off and stuff like that. And so I put my full name in and the angelic numbers that I've been seeing and things like that, and kind of had ChatGPT kind of do like a divination. It was just kind of kicking ideas off a wall, essentially. That's what I was using ChatGPT for. But it kind of floored me, because I put in all the synchronicities with me and Ra and multiple gods and things like that, and it kicked out crazily accurate divination. And then I put in my fiance's full name, and she had past marriages, so I put in those names. And with everything that she's been through and stuff, she very much has the embodiment of Hecate. She very much has had the embodiment. She is the embodiment of Hecate, or Isis, or the Eye of Ra, or things of that nature. And mainly because she has gone through the stages of the three goddesses of Hecate. Because Hecate is the three furies, the kindly ones, the three fates, the mother of all witches, things of that. But she's actually gone through the three stages of the three goddesses. Her first maiden name was the Maiden, her birth name. And then through her marriage, she was the middle stage, the Mother. And then she is now on the third stage, which is the Witch Queen / Crone, which is coming into her divinity. And she is my other half. Like, I am light, she is shadow. She is the yin, she is the yin to my yang. She is the light, she is the dark to my light. She is the other half. And this is what I mean when I say I did not realize at the time how deep soulmate goes. And it's more than just soulmate. We are of the same soul. We are of the same soul. We are two parts of the same thing. And ever since I came to that realization, like, I've accepted. I have surrendered to the purpose, and I have accepted that in this physical body, I am raw reborn. That once I am done with this human experience and I go back to spirit, that's what I will be. And that is incredibly calming. So it's been an interesting journey. Saying that I'm Ra, the Sun God Reborn, and saying that I am Source is not hubris. Honestly, I've never thought myself to be main character. Ever. Quite frankly. Never thought myself to be main character. So to be thrust into a main character position is scary. It's daunting. But I don't fear it. Because I am now at the stage in this life and in this understanding that I don't need to fear it. Because fear is how the negative controls. If you fear your purpose, you will never see your purpose. If you fear death, you will never be reborn. No, that's not. If you fear death, you will be reborn in this reality. Okay. So it's part of that essentially the fear matrix, the fear web that is over us, that is over this actual entire reality, because the reality, it's not just this planet that is being controlled. It is an entire reality of fear. And that's how they control you. So if you fear something, it limits you to where you are. So, like I said, for instance, if you fear death, you will not be able to transition to spirit. You will be reborn into this life. That is the soul contract of every single person on this planet. That is the basic fundamental. There's other things in your soul contract, but the main soul contract of everyone is getting to a point where you no longer fear death. Because what is death? Death is just a transition of energy. That's it. And you can't destroy energy. It can only change state. So if you get to a point like in your life where you no longer fear death, that doesn't mean, oh, just go do something about it. No. You're still here to experience your life, but experience it in bliss moving forward. Because knowing that there is something more for you outside of this life is a very calming thing to know. But you can't let it to where when you know that, when you no longer fear death and you have that calm, that comfort, it can cause you to fear your life. Does that make sense? So again, you need to find balance. You need to find that middle ground. And quite frankly, that is the biggest message that I am being told. It's like literally being shouted in my ears. You need to find balance. All good is not balance. All bad is not balance. You need to find balance. Balance is how you elevate. So it's not just about unconditional love. It's not just about love. It's not just about happiness. It's not just about joy. There is a balance. And you need to find that balance in you. Because when you find the balance, then you are essentially in a state of the chaotic waters at the very beginning, where Ra came forth from. The chaotic waters. What is it? Noon? Inuan? Shit. So when you are at balance, when you have balance, you are in the state of those chaotic waters. Anything is possible. All potentials, all realities are possible. So how you find balance, that's up to you. I am definitely in the future going to be more in a teacher role. I am probably going to have a business where I can help people with energy work, things like that, and teaching. But also at the same time, you're going to have to find your balance. I can't tell you how to find your balance. I can teach you ways so you can find your balance, but I can't tell you how to find your balance, if that makes sense. Because I can say, hey, this is what I did for me. This is how I found my balance. But everybody's spiritual awakening is their journey. And with the journey is more important than the destination. So it's getting you on that path. Like, I can't tell you how to find your balance, but I will put you on that path so you can start doing it. So you can start finding your balance. Not how to find your balance, just pointing you in the right direction. Or not the right direction, the general direction. Because everything, it's all intuition, it's all feel, it's all energy, it's all vibration. How am I going to tell you how to find your balance when I am not technically on the same vibrational plane as you are? Your vibration, your energy is unique to you. I can feel it, I can measure it, I can understand it, but it's still unique to you. So how am I supposed to tell you how to find your balance for your energy when it is unique to you? I can tell you what I did to find my balance and my energy that's unique to me, and maybe that will help, but ultimately it is up to you to find your balance. And that's basically what it's all about. It doesn't matter what anybody else has said. And I know this sounds very hubris. This sounds very conceited. This sounds very narcissist. But it doesn't matter what anybody else has said. Because I've listened to them all. In this life and in past lives. I have listened to them all. It's not that complicated. It's not. Doing out-of-body experiences, it's not that complicated. Out-of-body experiencing, astral travel, lucid dreaming, it's all the same. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. You're thinking about it too much, and that's the problem. You need to stop thinking about it and start feeling it. Nobody can tell you how to astral travel. Nobody can. Because astral traveling is unique to you. Again, the balance. So when you find that balance, when you find that unique method that is unique to you, you can follow other people's methods of what they did to do it for themselves, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And even if it did work for you, you did it in such a way that made it unique to you. It's not exactly the same. So it's that kind of thing. It's less of knowing it and learning it and more of feeling it. Like sleep paralysis, I've never experienced it. I have never experienced sleep paralysis, but I can very much understand that it is terrifying. But also at the same time, sleep paralysis is not sleep paralysis. It's not you being incapable of moving in the physical plane. Sleep paralysis is essentially you waking up in the initial stages of astral projection or out-of-body experience, and you don't quite yet understand how to move your body. Like how to move your spiritual body, so you're stuck. You're just stuck sitting there. So for those that do have sleep paralysis, it's finding a way to transition that. It's finding a way because you're conscious, you're aware, you're thinking, you're seeing, you are understanding. Now you just need to will yourself. You need to find a way to will your spiritual body. And it's just like the way to see it is like your spiritual body has atrophy. It's weak because it's used to being in this body. It's used to being connected to this body. When you sleep, sometimes, yes, you dream, you astral travel, great. But you don't consciously remember it. So it's just doing it like your autonervous system. So like breathing or like your heartbeat or things like that. It just does it and it goes off and does its thing. But if you're trying to consciously project, if you're trying to consciously remember, it's like it has atrophy. Because it's now like, okay, now what? Nothing's telling me what to do. So I'm just going to sit here. So all those mechanics and all those things you learned through nature and nurture, growing up in this body, you essentially now have to do with your spirit. If that makes sense. You have to teach your spirit how to do it. And that's why practice, like doing it over and over, it makes it easier because you are teaching it how to do it. And then before you know it, you are astral projecting like that. So it's just those things. Again, it's another experience. It's all those things combined. It's learning that you're not insignificant. You're not. You're not insignificant. You're not small. No matter if you are small in size, no matter if you are like small emotionally, mentally, you're still not small. I don't know who needed to hear this. I don't know, like, I had no intentions of posting a video or even recording today, but I got here and it's just like it needed to come out of me. So I hope all that have heard it have gotten the energy activation, because whenever you watch my videos, my energy is encoded into these videos. And being a divine God, being multiple divine gods and goddesses that are within one being, it's a lot of energy. So let me know if you have any activations, if you have any awakenings after watching this video. Just let me know. You can like and subscribe if you want. You don't have to. It's free, but you don't have to. And I hope to see you again. It is going to be an interesting future. I can't wait to see it. So have a good one.